Once upon a time, in the ancient city of Rehmatabad, there used to be a holy man, a Jogi. He used to spend his days sitting in his little shrine, fasting from food and drinks, and just praying. People from the city would come to him, observe him praying and fasting, and ask for his counsel and advice for their life. Even the king of that kingdom used to come to him every day to ask for counsel before making any important decision for his kingdom and for his life. That king had a daughter. That daughter grew up to become the most beautiful woman in the whole kingdom. When she was small, her father betrothed her to a prince of a neighboring kingdom of Dilaram. But she had never seen that prince. She used to live with her parents in their big palace, as was suited to a girl of her position and her beauty. But as she heard the fame about this Jogi, she got curious, and she wanted to actually meet him and get his advice. So one day, she escaped from the palace without telling anyone and went to the little shrine of that Jogi. But soon, her curiosity turned into disappointment, because the Jogi was not as holy as she expected him to be. Because Jogi, as soon as he saw her, fell instantly in love and started plotting on how he can make her his wife. But the princess was not only beautiful, she was also sure. She saw his glances full of love towards her, and she decided to run from that place as fast as she could. Jogi tried to catch her, but he was not fast enough. So he got angry, and he took a lance and threw at her, which went through her leg, and she got wounded. But she took it out and managed to reach her palace before he could catch her. Then she took a bath and put a cloth on that wound and told no one of what had happened, because she was afraid she would get punished. The next day, as usual, the king went to this Jogi. But that day, Jogi would not say a word to him. He did not answer any of his questions. He did not pay any attention to him. Just continued praying. The king got worried and started to beg, ask him to give him advice. Finally, the Jogi said, "There is an evil spirit in your kingdom, and if you will not get rid of it, it will kill everyone here and all your family." The king was easily frightened. He grew pale. He asked the Jogi, how can he catch this evil spirit? How can he find it? And how can he get rid of it? The Jogi told him that this evil spirit visited him yesterday evening in the form of a beautiful girl. But as soon as he laid his eyes upon her, it turned into a hideous face with long, stupid hairs, eyes of coal fire, and instead of hands, she had fangs. He tried to kill her, but she escaped. And if the king wants to find this evil spirit, he needs to look for a girl with such kind of description. And after a lot of searching, it turned out that it was his own daughter. He grew more worried and went back to the Jogi and asked him and told him that it's my daughter. What am I supposed to do? But the Jogi was prepared for that. He told him, "She's not your daughter. Your daughter was replaced by an evil spirit when she was born. What you have at home is an evil creature, and if you will not do anything and not get rid of it, it will kill all your family and destroy all your kingdom." The king asked how to solve this problem. Jogi told him to make a big chest so sophisticated that not even air or water can enter it, and then take her daughter, put it in this chest, and then throw in the river. The king followed the Jogi's advice. He put the daughter in that chest and threw it in the river. But Jogi was not happy with that situation. He wanted more. He was so angry at her that he wanted to kill her by his own hands. So he told two of his students to wait a bit downstream on the bank of the river and wait for a big chest to flow there, and then take it out and bring it to him and tell no one what they did. But as luck would have it, on that same day, on that same morning, on that same river, the Prince of Dilaram was hunting. And he saw a big chest coming along the river towards him. He asked his soldiers to bring it out, and although he was extremely afraid of what is in it, but was also very curious, so he opened, and he saw the most beautiful woman he had ever seen in his life. The princess was breathing heavily, but she recovered quickly and told this prince her story of how her father put her in that chest and then threw her in the river. This is the point when Prince realized that she is the woman he was supposed to marry. So he told her that I am actually the Prince of Dilaram and we were supposed to marry. What is the luck that two people who were supposed to marry and had never seen each other would meet in such kind of circumstances? The prince fell instantly in love with her beauty and her courage and asked her to marry him right there and right then on the bank of that river. And she agreed, and they got married. And then they went back to the palace of that prince, and there was a huge festival and huge festivities where a lot of people enjoyed that wedding. As the day ended and people started to leave the castle, the princess finally told the whole story to the prince of how a wicked Jogi tricked her father into putting her into that chest. The prince decided that this Jogi needs a punishment. He told one of his soldiers to take a big, crazy, huge monkey that was tied up in that palace and put it back into that chest in which they found this princess and then throw it in the river. The soldier did as he was told. At the same time, the two students of the Jogi were getting extremely tired and impatient sitting along the river when they finally saw a big chest floating there. They took it out with great difficulty and brought it back as soon as possible to the Jogi. Then leave the room and stand outside and do not enter even if you hear cries of help or any kind of terrible noise. The students, enchanted by the wisdom of the Jogi, did as they were told. They stood there outside the door. Even when they heard the Jogi's voice crying for help, they did not dare to open the room. Long after the voices had gone quiet, they finally entered the room, and a huge monkey just flew across them and ran away. And what they saw was Jogi laying in the pool of his own blood. The story of what had happened to Jogi, like many other stories, traveled quickly to the princess and her prince. And she finally went back to her father and made her peace with him. And that's how the princess, the prince, and the whole two kingdoms lived happily ever after.